Hey everybody, HomeSliceHenry here, and in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at a really fun theme team in the Great League, Team Turtle. This team features 3 turtle Pokemon. We are running TORKOAL on the lead, Blastoise as the save switch, and Carracosta as the closer. This is definitely not a team I'd recommend for climbing, as it does have a ton of weaknesses, but despite that fact, I was able to get some really fun wins with it. So without further ado, let's hop into the matches and check out Team Turtle in action in the Great League. Hopping into the first match, leading TORKOAL into Araquanid. At the very least, we are going to be resisting the bug bites in this matchup, but we do get hit for super effective with the bubble beams. I'm going to stay in here to start, farm up, and then go for the overheat. They are going to be able to outpace me and fire off the bubble beam. That is going to lower my attack, but even debuffed, overheat does hit quite hard. TORKOAL charging up the overheat, it connects, and then I'm going to save switch into Blastoise. They're farming up a ton of energy, and then they bring in Registeel. This is not great because Zap Cannon does hit for massive super effective damage, but my opponent gave Blastoise a massive energy lead. I'm able to fire off a Hydro Cannon, and they're going to fire back with the Zap Cannon. I am going to shield up because I should be able to reach 2 more Hydro Cannons before they reach their next Zap Cannon. These water guns are adding up quite a bit as well, and now I have the back-to-back Hydro Cannon, so let's start getting these shields. Able to grab the first, and I'm going to be able to grab that second shield as well if they want to preserve the Registeel, and it looks like they do. Opponent commits the final shield, and at this point, I'm going to do the same. I can keep this Blastoise very healthy. My plan is to farm up, bank a Hydro Cannon, and then bring back in TORKOAL. In comes TORKOAL, and I get the Fire Spin through. This is going to hit for some massive damage as they go for the Focus Blast, but the Fire Spin going through means that they were taken out. Back in comes Araquanid. Araquanid does not want to get hit by a potential move, so they're going to fire off the Bubble Beam. Bubble Beam plus the Bug Bites is enough to take down TORKOAL. I do have a Hydro Cannon loaded on the Blastoise. In it comes, I overfarm slightly, and I'm going to fire off the Hydro Cannon. Hydro Cannon gets them low. I believe they are not at enough for a Bug Buzz here. Just a Bubble Beam, and in the back, they have Galarian Stunfisk. I farm up, I go for the catch, but unfortunately, I'm not able to get it, and I lose an entire Hydro Cannon. That is not great. The question is, can Carracosta reach a Surf? We can, and will Surf be enough to take out the Galarian Stunfisk here? Surf takes down the G-Fisk, and that is a good game. Hopping into the next match, leading TORKOAL into Sableye. This is definitely a scary Pokemon to see because I don't have any hard check to it. But thankfully, I do have a lot of neutral play. So I'm going to stay in here with TORKOAL, tank a move, and then fire off the overheat. They will almost assuredly shield, but hopefully my backline can use that shield advantage to put in some work. So I'm going to be firing off the overheat. Sableye respects it, and in comes Blastoise. Sableye banks a move, and then in comes another Registeel. We saw how this played out before. If you give Blastoise an energy lead, Blastoise can put in a lot of work in this matchup. So I fire off the Hydro Cannon, and they're going to fire back with the Zap. I am, of course, going to shield the Zap Cannon, and with this energy lead, I should be able to put in a lot of work here. I'm going to massively overfarm and fire off the Hydro Cannon right before they reach the Zap Cannon, hoping this will be enough to take them out, and it is, and just like that, we leave with a lot of energy and a very healthy Blastoise. Back in comes Sableye, and I'm going to be going for the Hydro Cannon. Hydro Cannon is going to do some solid damage, so they're forced to burn that final shield. Sableye does have a ton of energy here. I'm going to be letting this go. It's the foul play that gets me low, and they're able to farm me down. In comes Carracosta. Carracosta not going to be able to farm down before we get hit with a move. I'm going to let it through. Just a foul play. In the back, they have Medicham. This is not looking good whatsoever. I'm going to go for the Surf and then immediately switch into TORKOAL. In comes TORKOAL. TORKOAL definitely not the healthiest. I have to shield everything here and hope they don't have Power Up Punch. They have Ice Punch. Can we get to the overheat? We can, and this will be taking out the Medicham, but they still have the very low health Sableye in the back. This is going to be close. In comes Sableye. TORKOAL able to farm down, and we clutch an incredible win. Hopping into the next match, hitting TORKOAL into Nidoqueen. I have 2 better responses in the back, so I save switch into Blastoise, and my opponent is going to respond with Umbreon. This is a somewhat negative matchup for Blastoise, just because Umbreon gets the charge moves a lot faster than Blastoise does. Umbreon is going to be able to reach 3 foul plays before I'm able to reach a 3rd Hydro Cannon, and 2 Hydro Cannons is not going to be enough to take them out. They fire off that 2nd foul play. Blastoise does have some nice bulk to it, so I am able to tank it. I'm going to overfarm quite a bit, but this this Hydro Cannon is not going to be enough to take out Umbreon, and Umbreon is going to be able to reach a third foul play. Ideally, I want to align the Caracosta onto the Nidoqueen, so I am going to commit the shield and then commit to the farm down. This way, I leave with a Hydro Cannon to throw at whatever they have in back, and it ends up being an Obstagoon, so I'm very happy that I was able to flip switch. Hydro Cannon able to connect, and now I can align the counter user on my TORKOAL. At the very least, TORKOAL is only taking neutral here, and I should be able to comfortably tank whatever they throw. They're just going to spam out Night Slash after Night Slash. That is totally fine. I don't necessarily want to go for the Overheat yet, just because it is going to lower my attack. So I'm going to overfarm quite a bit, and then go for the Overheat right before they're able to reach another Night Slash. Overheat takes down the Obstagoon, in comes Nidoqueen, and in comes Caracosta. This is going to be a very dangerous bait game. Do they go for the Earth Power? I shield it. It's the Poison Fang, and that was a massive mistake. I'm going to fire off the Body Slam, but they have 2 shields, so that's not going to be saving me here. They are farming up, and they're able to reach the Earth Power. This will be taking out the Caracosta. The question is, can TORKOAL farm down? In comes TORKOAL. TORKOAL just falls short. Nidoqueen able to reach the Poison Fang, and we lose a heartbreaking game. Hopping into the next match, sending TORKOAL into another Sableye. Same game plan as last time, I'm just going straight for the Overheat to get that shield advantage, and then hoping that shield advantage Blastoise on the safe switch can put in a lot of work. They just keep farming up, so I'm just going to full send the Overheat. Overheat does get the shield, in comes Blastoise, they bank the double foul play, and we bait out yet another Registeel. But as we've seen, Blastoise with a shield advantage or energy lead can honestly put in a lot of work against Registeel. Hydro Cannon able to land, and they fire off the Zap Cannon just before I'm able to reach my second. I will shield up the Zap Cannon, and now I can overfarm quite a bit, and they are definitely in Hydro Cannon range. So the question is, do they want to expend the final shield on the Registeel? They do not, and down goes Registeel. Sableye has a ton of energy, they bring it back in, and they're firing off a move. I'm calling that they're just going for the foul play. They do. I go for the Hydro Cannon, but they make an incredible catch, able to catch the Hydro Cannon onto Walrein, and that is not good news. I'm going to bring back in TORKOAL and go for the Overheat. This way I can guarantee that I'm going to be getting that final shield, because I really doubt they want their Walrein to get absolutely destroyed here. They are going to overfarm and then more than likely go for the Earthquake. At this point, I'm just going to let this go and trust in Caracosta to try and close in the endgame. This Walrein does have some energy, so they should be able to reach an Earthquake here, and they are going to throw it. I do have to respect it, but I should be able to reach a Body Slam, which should be enough to take out the Walrein. Back in comes Sableye, and they're firing off a move. Sableye goes for the foul play. That does quite a bit of damage, and I am not taking any chances. I'm going straight for the Surf. Surf gets the Sableye low, able to farm down. It's going to be a race. Can we get to the Body Slam? We can. Able to win the CMP tie. Body Slam is going to be taking down the Walrein, and that is a good game. Hopping into the next match, leading TORKOAL into Galarian Stunfisk. I do have 2 better responses in the back, so I'm going to immediately save switch into Blastoise, and they respond with a Shadow Hypno. To be honest, you don't see much of Hypno anymore in the Open Great League, so it is kind of cool to see it here. I fire off the Hydro Cannon, and I'm able to get the shield. If possible, I do want to try and get their shields down, so that way TORKOAL can help close in the endgame. So I will commit 1 shield, overfarm quite a bit, and then fire off the Hydro Cannon just before they're able to reach their next Thunder Punch. Hydro Cannon does get the shield. Hypno goes for the farm down, and that proves to be very costly. Blastoise hanging on, firing off another Hydro Cannon. We win switch advantage and shield advantage. They have Sableye in the back, and I'm going to bring in TORKOAL. And with shields down, there is nothing to stop this Overheat. Sableye is going to be firing off a move. They go for the return. TORKOAL tanks it. They bring in Galarian Stunfisk straight into an Overheat. Overheat nearly one-shots the G-Fisk, and they're forced to fire off the Rock Slide. They don't have enough for the Earthquake here, and now I can bring in Caracosta, farm down, and this game should be over, as Caracosta is going to be able to reach the Surf, and as we've seen, Surf will be able to take down the Sableye, and that is a good game. Picking up a tough lead in the next match, TORKOAL into Defense Deoxys. Honestly, Defense Deoxys has a ton of play against this entire team, so it's really not something I'm excited to see. I'm going to farm up, wait for them to throw their energy, and then I am going to be going for the overheat. I do tank this Thunderbolt, and then I'm going to overfarm slightly and fire off the overheat. They're a Defense Deoxys. They don't need to shield, but they do. That is quite unfortunate. I'm going to bring in Blastoise. This could be another Thunderbolt, so I am going to respect it with a shield. My opponent baits with a Psycho Boost, saves some energy for later, and then brings in Lickitung. This is quite unfortunate as I'm not going to be able to reach the double Hydro Cannon before they reach the Power Whip. I fire off the Hydro Cannon. I'm not quite able to get there, and this should be the Power Whip. Blastoise is very tanky. Power Whip, barely not enough to KO, and I'm able to reach the last second Hydro Cannon. That is huge. I'm going to be able to get the Lickitung low, and now I can get an energy lead on Carracosta. And now it's Carracosta versus the world. Back in comes Deoxys. I fire off the Body Slam just before they're able to reach the Thunderbolt. Body Slam does get the final shield. I bring in TORKOAL, and we get the Fire Spin through. I'm hoping that this is the Psycho Boost because I should be able to win CMP over the Deoxys, but I don't! For some reason, I end up losing CMP to Defense Deoxys, which is a CMP that TORKOAL is supposed to win, and I take a bunch of extra damage. That is quite unfortunate. In the back, they have Sableye, but to be honest, I wasn't winning that game anyway, because even if I do have that extra health, that's just extra farm for Sableye. So unfortunately, I'm able to reach the Surf, but it's just not going to be enough damage to KO. Carracosta not able to get the job done, and we lose a close match. Nightmare lead in the next match, TORKOAL into Swampert. I'm going to immediately save switch into Carracosta, and unfortunately, my opponent recognizes this is still a favorable matchup for the Swampert, and they decide to stay in. They go for the Hydro Cannon, that does massive neutral damage, and I'm going to fire back with the Surf. This would do quite a bit of damage in return, so my opponent does commit the shield. Swampert looking for the farm down, they do not get there as we're able to reach a last second Body Slam. Body Slam, not quite enough to KO the Swampert, but does get them very low. Swampert is very close to an Earthquake, so my plan is to bring in the Blastoise to force them to go for the Earthquake, shield it, and then farm down. That way I will have a small energy lead. They actually end up going for the Hydro Cannon. They save switch into Skarmory, and I'm going to respond with my TORKOAL. TORKOAL, I'm just going to keep farming up and wait for them to throw. We should tank whatever they throw here. They go for the Sky Attack. I'm going to overfarm by 2 Fire Spins and throw just before they're able to reach Sky Attack number 2. And this will easily be taking out the Skarmory. I'm expecting the Swampert, but instead they bring in Galarian Stunfisk. They're trying to get ahead on energy, but this overheat, even when debuffed, would still do massive damage, and they're forced to commit the shield. Stunfisk has farmed up a ton of energy, so it's not worth shielding here. I'm going to save the shield for Blastoise and hope that Blastoise is going to be able to close out the match. I don't believe Swampert can get to an Earthquake, so I'm just going to shield here in case the G-Fizz goes for the Earthquake. They go for the Rock Slide, and I'm able to reach the Hydro Cannon. This should come very close to KOing. Hydro Cannon, barely not enough, and G-Fisk is able to live on 1 HP. They only have the Rock Slide. We tank that. In comes Swampert. Swampert gets farmed down, and we clutch out another win. Hopping into the final match, leading TORKOAL into Obstagoon. Pretty neutral lead, so I'm going to play this out the same way that I would a Sableye lead. I'm going to stay in, tank all the moves they throw, fire off the overheat, and then I'm going to be safe switching into Blastoise. I will overfarm slightly, so I do throw on correct timing here. Overheat would do massive damage, they respect it with a shield. In comes Blastoise, and my opponent responds with a Charm Alolan Ninetales. And this makes me think that this very well could be Obstagoon Double Charm. And if so, TORKOAL is looking really nice for the end game. Blastoise able to farm down, and they're not able to reach the Psyshock. And even better, I leave with a Hydro Cannon loaded. Back in comes Obstagoon, and I'm going straight for the Hydro Cannon. This will not KO, but it will get them very low. Obstagoon going for the counter down. They cannot get there, and they're forced to fire off energy. I believe they have back-to-back. I'm going to bring in TORKOAL, get the Fire Spin through, and commit the shield, because I'm expecting to see another Charmer in the back. Show it to me. Down goes Obstagoon. It's Wigglytuff in the back, and TORKOAL is smiling. We are going straight for the overheat. Overheat gets the shield, and in comes Carracosta. And from here, I can very safely reach 2 Body Slams. Honestly, after the Water Guns, I probably could have just gone for a Surf to KO, but on the safe side, I was like, you know what? I'll be safe, and I'll get to these 2 body slams. Firing off body slam number 1, that gets Wigglytuff low. Carracosta able to reach body slam number 2. Carracosta is going to be able to make quick work of the double charm team, and that is a good game. All in all, I had an absolute blast running Team Turtle. As I mentioned at the beginning, this is absolutely not a team I would recommend running if you're looking to climb rank, because I definitely lost a lot more than I was able to win. But the few wins that I were able to get were absolutely glorious. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you're enjoying the content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And a special thank you, as always, to our members here on YouTube. The support you guys provide is absolutely incredible. So thank you guys oh so very much. And until next time, I've been HomeSliceHenry.